Hello everyone and welcome back to my recreation of the original Jurassic Park in Jurassic World Evolution. I first want to take a moment to again thank you so much for getting the channel to 2,000 subscribers. That is mind-blowing. I seriously can't thank you enough. That is so cool and so unexpected. And yeah, I'm at a loss of words. If you want to help the channel grow even further and help me get to 2,500, that would be such a cool present. You know, it's the holidays. I have my birthday coming up, so you know, no pressure, no pressure. No, it's seriously so cool that you've helped me get this far. I really appreciate it, and as a thank you, I'm doing a giveaway. If you don't know already, check the description down below on how you can enter the giveaway. There are going to be 2 winners because we've doubled the subscriber count. So 2 winners will get picked at random and they will get to choose a Jurassic World Evolution DLC of their choice. And yeah, so if you want to enter that giveaway, just check out the description. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the video. In this video, we will actually be incubating some dinosaurs, but we'll mostly be focusing on exhibit design. So you're going to see me play around a lot with the tree tool, as you can see now, and also the terrain tool, elevation and stuff. We're gonna make some headway in terms of the exhibits. Now, if you have any suggestions for me on how to improve this park from what you've seen so far, please let me know in the comments, because what I'm planning to do is do a bonus episode in which I'm going to incorporate your suggestions into the park to improve on it. I have noticed at this point that the map reference I'm using as my main reference isn't accurate in terms of the dinosaurs. I should have done proper research beforehand. I blindly trusted that map. Shouldn't have done that. And I could have known because there are several maps to be found online and they're not all the same. So I didn't know which one to pick. I just picked this one because the quality was pretty okay. But let me know in the comments which dinosaurs are actually accurate for the movie Jurassic Park. I'm not going for the novel. I'm going for the original movie Jurassic Park. And what I found on Wikipedia now, of all things, Wikipedia, is that we either see in Jurassic Park or have mentioned in Jurassic Park the Brachiosaurus, Brontosaurus, Dilophosaurus, Gallimimus, Metriacanthosaurus, Parasaurolophus, Proceratosaurus, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Velociraptor, and Stegosaurus. So let me know in the comments if that list is correct and if you want me to have that list of dinosaurs in the park. Obviously, we can't do Brontosaurus. I guess I could use a substitute, but the best substitute would be the Brachiosaurus itself, and we already have that. Yeah, but let me know if that list is correct and if I should incorporate those dinosaurs. The mistakes I've made so far in terms of the dinosaurs is the map that I'm using reference the baryonyx. Never even heard of the baryonyx being in Jurassic Park, but okay, it referenced the baryonyx. And the Stegosaurus, so I added those 2 in this park build, but I think I should be taking those out. I think Stegosaurus is from the novels, so that's where that came from. And also, for some reason, I was completely convinced that in the Brachiosaurus / Parasaurolophus exhibit, there were also Pachycephalosaurus, and someone pointed out that that was not the case. So, you know, we're going to be making some changes to the park in the bonus episode that we're going to do at the end of this park build. We still have a couple of episodes to go, though. This is the 3rd of 6 main building episodes. And then after that, like I said, a bonus episode where I make some adjustments / corrections. And, of course, finally, the actual tour video. So, as you can see on the screen right now, if I focus on my job, I am raising up the terrain, you know, give a little bit of interest. Obviously, we have the highest point where we're going to have the tour come by Rexy's exhibit. Raising the ground. I just like adding some elevation to my parks, makes it look more interesting, makes it look more natural and alive. So it's something I do quite a bit, and you know, the map is big enough, and based on some things I remember from the movie, we do see some elevation behind the Brachiosaurus / Parasaurolophus exhibit anyway, so that's something I wanted to recreate. I'm just smoothing it out over there because that's where we're going to have the tour come by. And now this is going to be where the tour comes by the Tyrannosaurus exhibit. And everyone keeps saying that there is like a continuity error in the scene with the Tyrannosaurus because at some point of the exhibit, the Tyrannosaurus can simply walk out. But at the other point, there's a drop-off. I don't think that's a continuity error. I think that's just how the exhibit was designed. So I'm trying to replicate that over here with the limitations of our own terrain tools. Of course, we can't actually have a sharp drop-off, unfortunately. But so I'm moving on to the Triceratops exhibit as I'm talking, but part of the Tyrannosaurus exhibit is level with where the tour trucks come by, and the other part, the left side, goes down, basically. But we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Are we gonna get back to it now? I don't know. It's really weird watching myself play the game. Watching me play with myself. No! Don't go there. Sorry. So, adding a lot of trees, I made the Triceratops exhibit a little bit dry because that's kind of what I remembered from the movie. It was pretty muddy. I'm having a think at this point on how I want to tackle it. Obviously, it's going to be one of the most important parts of the tour, coming by the T-Rex exhibit. It would be so awesome if we could have more extreme terrain tools. That would be the dream. I would really love to be able to make cliffs and such. Everyone wants the piece by piece stuff from Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster in Jurassic World Evolution. I don't need that. I honestly don't need that. I'm not the biggest fan of Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster at the moment. I don't know. I haven't been bitten by the bug. I find it really exhausting creatively because it's so much work to build something so tiny. But I do really envy that terrain manipulation tool. That is so awesome, and that's something I would really want so badly for Jurassic World Evolution, possibly its sequel. So I'm deleting the compass over there to make room for the tour, because at this point I figured out that the tour needs to be brought down further because it doesn't start in the Brachiosaurus exhibit. It has to go to the Dilophosaurus exhibit first. Adding some hills to the Brachiosaurus exhibit. You know, I'm not going for completely a recreation of every scene in the movie. I'm just sort of making nods to it, you know. I didn't go in frame by frame to recreate what we see in the movie. That didn't seem like a lot of fun to me anyway, because that would be very strict, and also it would make the limitations of the game more pronounced. So I am taking some liberties in how I design the exhibit and how I'm going to do the tour, because, you know, we can't do it exactly the same way as it was in the movie. If we can and I'm wrong, then I'm sorry, but I don't think we can. So over here, what I'm doing is I'm making the part where Alan Grant, Tim, and Lex climb over the fence near the, right before they reach the visitor center. So this is where Tim gets electrocuted and flown off the fence. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So I remember that being quite dry as well. And having palm trees. At least I know Tim landed behind the leaf of a palm tree to sort of obscure the child trauma that was happening in that scene. So that's kind of what I did to, again, just make a nod to that point of the movie, and not actually replicate it. I think it's really a shame that we have only 3 fences in the new Jurassic Park era, as opposed to the 6 that we have. Is it 6? Or is it 5? Might be 5. In any case, we have more fences in the Jurassic World era. I would have loved just 1 or 2 more fence types where the concrete base of the fence is more substantial. That would have been so helpful if we've had that. But alas, again, we have to make do with what we got. More trees, less trees. Oh, here I'm going to add the part that leads to the Raptor Pen and the bunker. the placement is not ideal, but you know, I have a limited amount of space left, so this is where I decided to place it. The Raptor Pen is, of course, in a little bit of a clearing, so that's what I'm going for here. Well, not quite, but I'm going to be removing those trees later. Yeah, right now. Oh, and making it dry, of course, because it was... Again, this is mostly based on memory. I think I exited the game at one point in the next episode to rewatch a part of the movie, just for reference, but, you know, I'm not being too strict with myself. I'm just trying to have fun with it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Alright, so now I've placed the Raptor Pen. It should be pretty close to the visitor center anyway, because, you know, we know they go for lunch right after they visit the Raptor Pen. And what I did was I placed the bunker just a little bit beyond the Raptor Pen. I'm pretty sure that's not really how it was located in the movie, but it kind of feels like it is, like the bunker was just beyond the Raptor Pen based on the scene that we have with Ellie Sattler and... Oh, I'm totally blanking on his name. Ronald? Was his name Ronald? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm completely blanking on his name. Sorry, comment his name down below. This is so frustrating. Oh, what was his name? Roland was the guy from The Lost World. Oh, God. Oh, I don't know his name. Oh, that's very weird. Wow. Wow, thank you, brain, for being completely unhelpful. So there we have the bunker. I'm trying to make it a little bit like, you know, hidden by the trees and in foliage and stuff to sort of mimic that Ellie has to run through and hop over the same fallen log twice. I am going to make a slight change to that bunker, though, but that's going to be in the bonus episode. I didn't think of it while I was building it, but I did think of it later, so that's something I want to do in that bonus episode. And again, if you have any suggestions for that as well, just, you know, give it to me. So this is the Brachiosaurus and Parasaurolophus exhibit, and mistakenly also the Pachycephalosaurus exhibit, but we'll change that, like I said, in the bonus episode. It is a lot smaller than I would have wanted it to be. I could have extended it out a little bit more, but then the proportions wouldn't be right with the rest of the fencing. So it's another compromise. It's a game of compromise, people. I'm sorry. So I'm laying down more of the track because I figured out that I wanted to bring the classic park gate further down to where the Dilophosaurus exhibit is going to be. But I'm going to be relaying this track quite a bit because I needed more space. I'm wasting a lot of space right now in that section, so I needed to move it over a little bit to make space for the hotels and other guest facilities. I find it really frustrating that you can't just delete one part of the track like midway through the tour track, because basically the part you delete and everything after that gets deleted. And that's really frustrating when you just want to replace like a little part of it. You have to replace almost the entire thing, or at least everything from the point you want to delete and thereafter. That's really frustrating. And I don't think it works that way in challenge mode. Or maybe I'm just misremembering because I've forced my brain to sort of hide those memories away in a secluded part of my brain because I've been so frustrated with the challenge mode. But I remember in challenge mode that I relay the track quite a bit, quite often, to, you know, have it snake through new exhibits. And I don't remember it deleting the entire track that follows thereafter. So that's weird. But it doesn't matter. In Sandbox, it deletes much more than I'd want it to delete. That's pretty much the point. So with the way I've designed it now, the oh, sorry. my computer went to standby. That was, oh god. I'm watching footage and I'm so like I'm watching the actual game that I forget that I need to move the cursor from time to time because it's gonna fall asleep otherwise. Sorry. I completely forgot what I was saying. No, I didn't. We've moved on to the Brachiosaurus exhibit at this point. I'm just adding some trees, but what I wanted to say was that with the way I've designed it now, the jeeps that take Alan Grant and the rest to the visitor center at the start of the movie, it now crosses the tour track. That's not ideal, but you know, that could be exactly the case. You know, we only see them drive through, we only see like a camera inside the vehicle, and you know, it looks like a bumpy ride, so it could very well be that at some point they actually cross over the track. That's sort of like the lie I'm telling myself to have this make sense in my head. So this back exhibit over here is the Gallimimus exhibit, where they're going to have the Gallimimus Stampede. You know, this is another thing that some of the maps disagreed on. Some of the maps had the Brachiosaurus in the top exhibit and the Gallimimus in the lower exhibit. And this one has it vice versa. I decided to go with this route because then we have the scene where they climb over the fence, and that's the last fence they have to climb over before they reach the visitor center. That's sort of the logic behind it. Flying through, looking for things to improve on. More trees, of course, because you can never have enough trees. It is a shame that I can't use the redwoods in this rebuild, because I don't think we see any kind of trees that even resemble redwoods in the movie. It would be nice if we had even more tree variation, but that's just me getting greedy. I think the redwoods are a really nice addition. So, for the time being, I'm going to be satisfied with what we got. Still thinking about that terrain mod, though. Really thinking about it, but I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared of like the mod police. Here you can see what I'm talking about. When you want to delete just a part of the track, it deletes everything down from that point. But I'm going to, you know, redo all of that work again. I think I'm going to redo it another time even, but I'm not quite sure. But I needed to have more space to the right of the track when you have the... from a certain perspective. It depends on your perspective if it's right or left, doesn't matter. But I needed more space for the guest facilities and such. But I'm pretty sure I'm relaying this track like once or twice more during this entire park build. It's so frustrating that it deletes the entire stretch. Yeah, click on the right gate, that's helpful. It's so frustrating trying to delete that one tree and then it doesn't work. More trees, more trees. It's also frustrating that the tree tool doesn't work in like more narrow parts. You really, you know, sometimes you want to place things close together, but still be able to have like a thick tree line between the two, and it doesn't work that way. Then only shrubs pop up, and that's kind of frustrating. Okay, so looks like I'm finally going to continue with the T-Rex exhibit? Question mark? Oh, I'm adding a dry bit just outside where we're going to be placing the restroom of death later. More dry, more dry, more dry. You know, when I'm looking at it like this, the dirt texture isn't actually that bad. But when you're from a first person or from a ground level perspective, there just isn't enough contrast between the grass and the dirt texture. And that's really a shame. Kind of thinking of what I want to do because, of course, the fences that we have right now are kind of like perimeter fences. They're not necessarily the fences of the exhibit itself. They are at some points, like the Brachiosaurus exhibit is just that entire section. But in other parts, I have to add more fences to actually make the exhibits. And I didn't want to use the electric fence again because that would... I'm taking a moment to shoot a thumbnail that I'm not actually going to use for this video, but whatever. I was figuring out which fence types to use because from map view I didn't want to muddy the design of this outline, so I'm using the light cable fence and the super strong mega fence from Jurassic Park 3 to make the exhibits themselves. Obviously that's not ideal because, for example, with the famous T-Rex scene, this electrified fence is the closest replica of that fence that he comes, that she comes bursting through. But I couldn't use that because then from map view, you'd lose that entire design. So for Rexy, I used the fences from Jurassic Park 3, which really is a shame, but you know me. I love my map views. I love them so much. We're finally going to get to the dinosaur, so I'm bumping up the hatchery capacity. I only have 2 hatcheries, and in spite of all of the patience that I have very little patience for breeding dinosaurs. I wish we could do instant incubation. That would be a lifesaver. I'm gonna do 4 Brachiosaurus based on nothing other than I just wanted 4 Brachiosaurus. Like I said, I'm not being very strict with myself. I'm trying to have fun with this recreation. So I'm looking for the Parasaurolophus now. I was disappointed that there's no 1993 skin for the Parasaurolophus. Just in form. I mean, I know that we only see the Parasaurolophus from so far away that you can't really see what color the skins are anyway. But, for the form, I would have preferred it if they'd have just a skin type called 1993. But I went with just the standard skin because I figured that was, the most anonymous, let's call it the most anonymous skin type. Sorry. Adding some more trees. I'm gonna shake the cursor before my computer falls asleep again. Okay, so now it looks like I'm gonna start work on the Triceratops exhibit. Yes. So I'm using the individual trees for this because the tree tool, it looks too jungly. And that wasn't really the feeling that I got from the scene with the sick Triceratops. I'm only using 1 Triceratops, even though logically they would have had more. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Would they have had more? Because the thing is, right? The tour actually goes through the exhibit itself, as we can see from Alan Grant hopping out and walking right up to the Triceratops exhibit. So they're in that scene, they're walking in the actual exhibit. Now, if there were more Triceratops in that exhibit, that would be quite dangerous. But Harding, the veterinarian, he says, don't worry, she's sedated. So I'm assuming that there are no other Triceratops in that exhibit, because otherwise, you know, there would be a reason to worry, because even though that one is sedated, there could still be other ones. That's kind of how I figured it, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't done too much research. I think that's showing. More trees. Not that many trees, because we, of course, we have the tour truck coming through here. You know, in terms of if you're going to recreate Jurassic Park yourself, all of this stuff that I'm doing here, it's mostly based on taste and my own interpretation of what we've seen in the movies, as I've been rambling on and on and on about. So, you know, just try to have a little bit of fun with it for yourself. You don't have to recreate what I'm doing. You can try to recreate the movie scene by scene as it is actually in the film. I'm not saying that that's not possible. I just think that I don't know. It wouldn't sound like too much fun to me, but you might want to do that and really look up, you know, the scene with the Triceratops and figure out where to place trees and where to place tall grass and where to place dirt and stuff. I went for like a more spiritual recreation of the exhibits. I think I was only strict with myself in terms of the layout of the fences, but you know me. Oh, here I'm trying to sort of make a better ramp for the jeeps to come by. So what I do is I do multiple plateaus with the leveling tool, and then I try to smooth it out with the smooth tool. I don't think I did the greatest job over there, but I might get back to that at a later point. Adding some rocks, just because the rocks rock. Also, people have been modding the rocks to look differently as well, and they also look really good. Oh, I'm so conflicted about those mods. I really want to play around with the redwood trees, so I might do some sort of recreation of the Lost World at some point on Sorna as well, just so I can place a ton of redwood trees. There you go, we're finally going to be releasing dinosaurs, and we're not even gonna look at them. We're just gonna power through, release them, and shoot them in the face. Or in the hip, or in the neck, or the booty, wherever. Wherever the ranger teams can hit them. It is such a godsend that in Sandbox you can turn off vehicle aggression. Oh my god. Also, the ranger team's shooting the Compsognathus, which I use in a later video as the Sigisaurus stand-in. It was kind of funny. You could hear them shooting, like, pew, pew. And it was a miss a lot, but, you know, they fared quite well. I'm not too disappointed. They managed to get them in a respectable amount of time, considering how insufferably small they are. I don't think I'd be able to shoot them. You don't really dart them either, you just spear them with the tranquilization dart. Oh, I should have looked at that. I should have looked at that with camera mode. That might have been hilarious. I need to do that at some point. See what actually happens when you hit one of the small guys with the dart. So, moving the start of the Parasaurolophus herd over. And Brachiosaurs are almost done, so that's good. And we're almost at the end of the video. There you go. Setting another ranger team on their asses. So yeah, this exhibit is a lot smaller than ideally it would have been, but you know, I did what I could. Adding some dirt that you can't actually see. Ooh, our Brachiosaurus are done. They're ready to come out of the oven.
Transporting asset. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a
Adding some sand here to make it look even more dry and arid. I think that looks pretty okay. Yeah, I like it. I'm not mad at it, not gonna lie. Just, I'm checking everything to make sure. Is this an acceptable level of accuracy? Nah, sure. One more Parasaurolophus left to tranquilize, and then moving the rest over. And that's nearly the end of the video, so I hope this was a little bit fun to watch. Thank you for watching this with me. I hope that at the very least it was a bit helpful. Oh, here I go, incubating the Pachycephalosaurus. Sorry guys, but you will be, you will exit this park in the bonus video that I have planned. But in any case, thank you for watching another video. I hope you've been enjoying the previous parts of this park building series as well. And please subscribe to the channel if you want to watch the upcoming episodes. I'm going to be uploading quite quickly because I want to have everything up before Christmas. So subscribe and ring the notification bell so you'll know when a new upload has gone up. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the game.